Leo, one of the biggest parts of change, one of the most difficult parts of change, is the change itself. It is, it's continuing to move forward even when you start to feel the repercussions of the change, right? I mean, what I mean is the metaphor that I used back in October when everything was in retrograde. And now everything is about to be, so many new signs are changing. They're changing. I'm sorry, not signs, but planets are changing the sign. There's a bunch of change going on right now at this time. And it's impacting and affecting the way ourselves, our boundaries are shifting, essentially. And what defines the self? And I say self because that's you. You are the house of self, the house of the fifth house. The house of self is the house of the heart, the house of the courage and strength that comes from being one with God and connected to God. And that's the energy that Leo rules. And right now what's happening is all of those boundaries that we define ourselves by are shifting. They're changing, and they're changing all at the same time. So that's almost like being in a labyrinth, or that Harry Potter scene where all the stairs are changing. It's like, what the fuck, But ultimately, I think the bottom line is to get comfortable with that. And that's the biggest complication with change, is to not expect things to be queuing into order and falling in line and making sense right now, because things are changing. And the metaphor that I used back in October when everything was in retrograde was, think about walking counterclockwise in a pool when you were a little kid. If you ever had like a backyard pool, like one of those above ground 4 or 5 footers, right? And you used to like swim or walk in a circle to create a whirlpool. When you first decide to even just stop walking in the same direction, you can feel the resistance. But then when you intentionally push back and start walking in the opposite direction, there's a lot of wake, there's a lot of splash, there's a lot of resistance. And that's the hardest part of change, because that's when you feel, oh crap, if I'm getting resistance and I'm getting wake and I'm getting splashed and I'm getting splashed and everything seems crazy, then I clearly must be going in the wrong direction. But the truth is, deep down inside of your little heart, when you were 7, that's really what you were doing it for, right? You knew there was going to be a backlash. You knew there was going to be wake. You knew there was going to be a tumultuous period. And that's the exciting part, because it's walking around in a circle and everything going smoothly is actually fucking boring. So the hardest part of change is what you're going through right now. And it's that period where you're getting the resistance because you've just started in another direction, or you've just started to establish a boundary that wasn't established before, or you're shifting your boundaries. And you know what? You're going to get backlash. You're going to get backlash from people who called themselves your friends. Maybe they still are your friends. It doesn't mean that they're not irritated. They have to make adjustments too. There's adjustments on all levels and everywhere. It doesn't necessarily mean betrayal. It just means that there is complications. That's right. There's conflicts, and that's just the way that it is. But it's very difficult. This is why it's such a tender time right now. It's a tender time because this is when we all want to turn back. We want to, the water's still sort of pulling us in the direction that we've been walking for years. So we immediately want to, you get real tempted. It's like the smoothness that had grown very boring now seems very, very welcoming, right? Because as all the wake and all the resistance, and you feel the heaviness of the water pushing against you when you start going in a different direction. And that's where the discouragement starts to come, is things get difficult. And right now, you are being challenged to basically go against your heart by falling back in line with the old stuff, the obvious stuff, the stuff that was easy or that people expect of you. And it's a challenging time because you don't want to upset or hurt people. And you also don't want to lose followers, subscribers, the support of friends. You don't want to lose friends or family members. You don't want to cause strife in the family. But ultimately, there is a stance that you have to take, and that stance is the stance of your heart and what your heart is telling you to do. And I'm looking at the cards, and the foundation of the reading is to wake up in the morning and to just open up your heart and let yourself love somebody and let yourself love out loud without being afraid of what that might mean, without being afraid of any like backlash or resistance that will be coming your way. A sense of open your heart, because it's almost like the wider your heart is open, the less resistance is. It's almost like if you're pushing against it. I remember when you're 8 years old, of course we're solid, right? So when we start going in the opposite direction, we feel the water pushing against us. But what I'm saying is open yourself up so wide, it's almost like you're now a screen or a hula hoop. You can still feel resistance, but there's big spaces for the water to go through. So there's not much resistance on the other side. It's like the more wide open you allow yourself to be, the less resistance there is when you turn in the direction that you want to turn now. But what I'm here to encourage you to do is know that you are going in the right direction if you are following your heart. And there is definitely a call at this time in your life to love stronger than ever and love out loud and almost be that beacon for the rest of the signs that's reminding everybody else, if you are making the decision that you're making based on your heart song, based on your soul, based on where your heart is leading you, you are making the right decision. And come what may, whatever kind of resistance you incur, it's just a fallout of the change. It's not a sign that you should turn back or that anything is happening that's wrong. If your heart is aligned with the decisions that you're making, it is 150% the right decision, and people will eventually catch up with that. Now, what's the strife? What's the pushback? And what's the circumstance that is giving you the most challenge? Well, first of all, it is to trust in this new connection, this new love. I see love all over. There's so much love, hearts, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like love who you want to love. Care about what you want to care about. Love who you want to love. Always, over and over. And, let's start. Accept that, I'm sorry, I have gotten so many different aches and pains. I'm not feeling good. FYI, in the extended video, you can see the link down below this video. You see it's blue. It's right below the video, right there. There's always an extended where I dive into tarot card to extend this reading, and also answer questions that the oracle cards really aren't capable of answering. But I will also tell you the full story of what's going on with me right now. I will reveal that in the extended simply because I'm a private person, as much as that sounds weird because I'm a social media person, but I am private. I like to share my astrological gifts, but I am, in terms of my private life, I like to keep it private. So I will share, if anybody's curious, I'll be sharing that in the extended videos, just an FYI. But ultimately this card falls out, and this card is on the table. And what this card says is the childhood things that we were attached to, we grow out of, and we have to let them go. And it's time to let them go. This is about saying goodbye to people who no longer serve you or don't serve your higher purpose or your purpose in life. They're not going to be able to follow you along the path. Saying goodbye, letting go, letting people go that really don't belong in your life anymore. And it's kind of the both of your choice. It's kind of your choice and their choice. A sense of they don't want to change, you don't want to change, or you are changing and you don't want to stop your change. You like who you are becoming and they need you to be who you were, and so it just doesn't work out anymore. So this card is about saying goodbye. It's about saying goodbye with strength, saying goodbye with honor, saying goodbye with gratitude, but saying goodbye all the same. And then we have communication is key, our moon cards. Communication is key. So and this is a new moon, so you're receiving communication. It's not you that's giving the communication. You're receiving some sort of communication that you're receiving communication, you're receiving love. You could be receiving loving communication. This is Aquarius energy, so it's talking about Aquarius energy, Gemini energy, air energy. So it's clear communication, and it's talking about the truth of how somebody feels about you, or the truth about things that are going on, what's happening, people being honest and sincere, and just being honest and sincere about love and how people feel about you. But also a sense of they could love you and still criticize you. They could criticize you because they love you. They could be saying, do you recognize or realize that this is the impact you're having, right? As long as somebody's being respectful and honoring you, it's okay if they disagree with you. Like that's okay. like we're adults, we can handle that shit, right? This is about somebody pointing out to you, or at least the spirits pointing out to you, that you've been overlooking something, that there has been something in your life, a bunch of information or wisdom or knowledge that you've been overlooking because you didn't think it was important. You kind of underestimated it, and you're caught up in your own direction. You're caught up in your own world, and you're not looking at the obvious things that could really answer some of the issues or problems or help you out. Maybe even just seeing that people want to help you. They want to offer you help. And maybe it just seems like clatter to you, mindless clatter, but they really are trying to help you. So maybe turn to that mindless clatter and see what kind of wisdom you can get from it. I'm not telling you to change your mind. I'm saying that there is some really interesting and necessary information that you might be missing right now because you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. FYI. That's just an FYI. It's not even a red flag. It's an FYI. And this is practice. This is open yourself up to learning. This is dedicate yourself to knowing more and doing better and practicing. This is also, any kind of practice is an investment, a statement of, well, I'm not that good at it now, but it's worth continuing, right? It's worth giving my time and attention to, because I love it, and it's like, it's worth opening up my ears and opening up my eyes because I love it. It's about loving something so much you're willing to be vulnerable, you're willing to be wrong, you're willing to be open to getting better, right? And nobody's better if you meet an opportunity to learn with your pride, because that just blocks education. That just blocks being able to learn. So there's a sense of be open to learning and practicing and listening to others, because it all has to do with harmony, right? And you'll start to hear some really harmonizing, beautiful statements if you start to listen to those undertones that maybe you have overlooked for some reasons. Now, there is definitely some obstacles to your change or to your transformation. And the primary obstacle is the change itself, is how uncomfortable change can be. And who do I listen to? And who do I trust? And, how far do I let this go? There's a lot of social, but there's a lot of social support. There's a lot of people caring about you, and maybe opening up your ears to that instead of the dissonance, right? Instead of the bad news, the good news, or the things that people are saying in support of you. There's a great, like, almost a popularity about you now, which could also be a caveat, which is a sense of if you're too attached to popularity, or this could also be an obstacle to your change, which is not wanting to lose popularity, not wanting to lose authority, not wanting to fall out of favor publicly. And it could very well be that, and I'll just tell you right now, you will fall out of favor publicly when you stand by your heart, because there will be people who are pissed. So that's an obstacle to your heart, not that you're not going to do it, but it is all of, I, as a tarot card reader and astrologer, I can't make your decisions for you. You're part of the process of fate. So it's almost like your free will has a role to play here. So you can choose to or choose not to, That's up to you, Leo. But ultimately, one of your obstacles is definitely popularity and going against the grain and risking a loss of popularity because you've decided to do something that is not currently in your wheelhouse. Just an FYI. Or in some ways, you could be fighting or rallying against people who are now rebelling or going against things that they said, especially if this is all coming out of the blue. But I do feel that there's an element of surprise here in terms of either whether it's you surprising people or people surprising you. There's an element of surprise where they didn't expect it. This is going to feel like it came out of the blue, but in reality, it didn't come out of the blue. It's been growing emotionally inside of you for quite some time, and now it's just coming to the surface. Yeah, so this is interesting. It's like, but you know what? Be a rebel. Be a rebel. You're going to be safe. You're protected. Like I said, if you're aligned with your heart, that's the only way you can protect yourself right now, because Pluto's about to fuck people up. I'm dead serious. Pluto's about to fuck people up. Remember, Pluto's still in Capricorn, right? So is about to fuck people up. You are safe if you go with your heart. This is a sense of rebel against the need to conform, right? Open up your heart and accept love. This is like accept people's love, accept people's consideration, accept people's support, but do not base your yourself on it. You know what I'm saying? In some ways, I feel like it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. Like the fallout isn't going to be as horrible, happy birthday, Doug Denny, as you think it is. I'll get to that in tarot, because in tarot I'll be able to articulate like what exactly will the fallout be and like how bad will it be. But right now there's just this tremendous push for you to wake up in the morning, get out of bed, and see all this. I told you, it's open, open, open. Love, love, love. Accept love. Bring love into the situation. Communication is key. This is open. See. Open yourself, open yourself, open your heart, open your life, open your mind, open who you are. In other words, share who you are with the world. Share yourself with the world. Share what you're feeling, but also listen and be ready to receive input from others. Not criticisms, but like, I just keep feeling like people are out there trying to support you right now. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So I know a lot of you are like, okay, do we open our heart? Do we not open our heart? Do we trust what people are saying about us? Do we not trust what people? Well, first of all, I will clarify absolutely with tarot, but I remind you, this is a general reading. So it's, once again, it's different, going to be different for all of you. The one steady message that I'm going to tell all of you is follow your heart. That's the thing that I have to say to you big time right now, Leo, that, you know, get your heart, really get in tune with your heart, because your heart is calling out to you big time this week, and it has to be respected and it has to be honored. And even if there is pushback, bottom line is, if you have aligned yourself with your heart, you have aligned yourself in the right place. Okay, let's do this. So first we have think on your feet, having to improvise, having to be really quick. This is Sagittarius energy, so it's almost like loving the chaos. But Fox energy demands that we go with the flow and be malleable, be flexible. Like, so already I know this is like improv and open your mind, right? Open your mind, open your heart. Don't expect anything. Let go of expectation. Now, this is something that was happening a while ago. Could be back in Sagittarius season. This could just be something that has been unexpected circumstances or situations that will work out best for you if you go with the flow and you allow yourself to be malleable. Don't attach yourself to judgment, to criticism, to being angry or frustrated. Just attach yourself to nothing and open your mind and react moment by moment. Be flexible. I'm so sorry. I know, it just all of a sudden, sometimes I just cramp up and it's really bad. Turn knowledge into wisdom. So it's the cards acknowledging that you're gonna have to, there's curveballs. This is curveballs going to be coming at you, and they're unexpected. And it could be a little bit, I don't think it's about manipulation. I just think it's about unexpected. There's nothing that you... So the biggest enemy here right now is expectation, because there are going to be curveballs coming at you, stuff that you did not see. And it could very well be emotional things, like emotional things coming out or bubbling out of you that you didn't expect. Whatever is coming out at you, so it doesn't necessarily have to be coming at you in the 3D world. It could be bubbling up from you, right? Because of things that are happening, or just realizations inside of you that you didn't know that you had, right? So expect this, expect the unexpected, or just your emotions putting you into a situation where you're reacting to things differently than you normally would. Okay, but if it's your heart, go with it. All right, and then we have, truth transcends illusion. So this is definitely something coming up that was hidden, spontaneously being hit with something that you did not expect. And this is a hardcore truth. It's a truth that, it's just a truth. It's just a hardcore truth. Something that will make you, like I said, go against the grain. Inspire you to do something that you normally wouldn't do. This is your opposite energy, man. This is Leo. This is Aquarius. This is unexpected events that are impacting you in a way that you could not have predicted. What events? Well, we'll definitely get into that in tarot, believe me. This is a new beginning, a new start, right? But also defensiveness, a sense of feeling very guarded, or feeling like you want to protect yourself and defend yourself from these new starts, or not to ward off the new starts, but to sort of be ready. Like you're not, in other words, this isn't you entering the room open-hearted. This is you entering the room like, don't fuck with me, kind of thing. You could be a little bristly. In other words, basically when you found out, you're going to be pissed. Your first reaction is going to be pissed or defensive, right? Walls up. That's going to be your first reaction. Know your worth. You feel like you could have feel like something betrayed your worth, or went against your worth, or challenged your worth, right? Challenged your own self-respect, or just a sense of like, but this is just hold on to your sense of self, of your sense of self-dignity, your worth, and that you don't owe anybody an explanation for anything. That even if something arises that you didn't predict, you don't owe anybody an explanation for anything. I just keep wanting to hear that. Take the lead. This is spirit saying that this is your chance to basically, you have to be the leader here. You have to be the one that sets an example. People are going to turn to you and look to you. They're going to feed off of your energy. So no pressure, Leo, but ultimately, how will you guide them? How will you lead them? What's the example that you will set? Because people will be watching, and you're expected to be the example. This is an interesting situation, okay? Co-create with spirit. Oh, it's almost like the spirit world is saying to you, we need your help. We need your help. You've been tapped. This is your time. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. You've been tapped. Maybe even tapped to give advice or to share news that people don't want to hear. To say something that people don't want to hear. Because that's usually Raven. Raven is a messenger of truth. But it's the dark truth that people don't want to hear. So this is you. Being the leader that you've been asked to be by telling the truth that nobody wants to hear. There's always enough. So there's a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of feelings that you would rather hide and not talk about or tell anybody about. You know, you'd rather pretend like everything is okay and sort of gloss over what you're feeling. You just don't want to open up right now. You don't want to tell people how this is really impacting you or affecting you, which I think is a bad strategy, because being honest about how it's impacting you while you're simultaneously honest about what you see is probably the way to gain empathy from people, right? A sense of empathy. a sense of compassion. You know, them being able to relate to you on a human level, not as a level of somebody who's just barking at them or telling them things that they don't want to hear, but understanding how that horrifies you as well, how it scares you, how it worries you. But this is like disguising your emotions. Something is coming out here that you've tried to withhold. You've tried to withhold in terms of your feelings. Okay. And you ain't playing around. Things are really heavy right now. This is not bullshit. That's kind of what this card means. We're looking to the future to see that this is give with gratitude and grace. Throw your whole self in, just being completely altruistic. This is altruism. And then there is your past is influencing your future. Recognizing and realizing that we have a need to love and care for and give love unconditionally. And then we have this card, which is your home and your heart space, protecting and defending your home and your family and who you are and what you are. Like, this means a lot to you. I think this is almost ancestry. I could feel like something means a lot to you. Recognizing that somebody means a lot to you, even if you tried to bury it or it doesn't really match up with whatever's going on in your life right now. A sense that your attachment to these people or this person is something that's important to you and you don't want to just let it go. Let's go on to your angel messages. Leo, if you like this video, then like the video. And then share it, please, on your social media profiles, because that really helps the channel. Also, subscribe, please, if you have not subscribed yet. And ring that bell so that you get notified. I upload between 12 and 14 different pieces of content every single week. And Leo-specific content comes out every single Friday. But you're more than just a Leo. That's your sun sign, probably. You're your rising sign. You check your moon sign. All these different, like, mesh up of planets and energies. So, yeah, you'll be able to check and peruse through all of those. If you click that notification link, you'll get notified when all that content comes up. And then there's always a Vimeo video. There's always an extended video that will help to intensify as well as clarify all the can be abstract energies that we go through here. And if you subscribe there, you'll actually get access to the extended videos at least a day before I share the link on YouTube. That's also where I play my astrological forecasts. I every single week I do a general astrological forecast based on what the cosmos is doing and how the energies are going to impact us all. So you can check that out for free every single week. I also post that over on Instagram. And please do find me on Instagram, born_without_boundaries. I do live readings there all the time, and so you can catch me live over on Instagram. Now, I am not doing live readings or personal readings right now because you can see that I'm sick, and like I said, if you go and purchase the extended, you'll also get access to just the summary of what's going on with me. But that's why, and so personal readings are closed until later notice, and then I'll do lives when I feel strong enough, when I can. Really, I'm just trying to conserve energy right now, plain and simple. So let's go into your angel readings, Leo. Okay, we have how many cards coming out? 2 cards. That surprises me because I thought we had more, but Destiny is the one that is facing me. So, and we knew that when this card came out, right? Destiny. Destiny's calling you. This is just what's meant to be. Your destiny is to blossom, to shine, to transform to an ever greater light. You're leveling up, Leo. And then last but not least, miracle. Oh, our wings of light surround you and those you love. This current situation is governed by a higher power. The forces of love are at work. All will turn out well. This situation that you're in now is actually designed to bring you closer to the people that you love and that love you. So let's go to tarot. I will see you guys in the extended.